Hello and welcome to another episode of the FSA podcast. Today we're going to go over something that may sting a little bit, and it's why you're probably stuck in your business right now. So we're going to break it down, what that looks like, why that might be, how to fix it. If you are feeling stuck right now, you are not alone. The industry is a little rough right now. And by industry, I mean the online sales industry. That's for all different, that's for SaaS, that's for real estate, that's for all types of coaching offers. So you are not alone there, but I want to show you guys what's actually working for my clients and for so many others that I've worked with in the past. Okay, so if you're feeling stuck, you probably, if I had to guess, you're probably thinking it has something to do with leads, right? Most people just say, hey, we have a lead problem. We have a lead problem. But most people actually have a conversion and retention problem. More leads aren't going to save you if your back end isn't built for scale, right? Like if your sales process is a little messy, if your offer isn't maximizing your LTV, your lifetime value of your clients, if they're not staying, if they're not referring, it's like a leaky boat. Right? It's like you're sitting there with a bucket and you're trying to scoop out, and the boat is still actively sinking. It's because more people are leaving and not staying and not referring people than are coming in. So it's like, instead of maybe needing, I don't know, these are completely arbitrary numbers, but like instead of needing 100 leads a month, you now need 300 because your sales process is inefficient and your back end process is also not built to maintain your clients and get them to send you more people. So that is the harsh truth number one. There's going to be 5 of these. Okay, we're going to go through all 5. Stick around. I can guarantee by the end you're going to be in a better place than you were when you started this video, or at least have some ideas on where to take things from here. So truth number 1, more leads will not fix a broken sales process. You cannot outsell a bad back end system. Okay. So the answer is not more leads. If you're struggling to convert at a high rate, dumping more money in, like you have to think about your CAC, your cost per acquisition, right? And so think about it like this. If you're running ads and it costs you $150 to book a call, and then total all in, it's $500 to actually get a qualified sales call to actually show up. So it's like, maybe it's $150 to book a triage, then only some of those show, only some of those are moved on. And then by the time someone actually is qualified and gets on the closing call, let's say it was all in $500 after everything was, all the other leads were removed. Then you close about half of them, and now your cost per acquisition, factoring in show rate and close rate, your cost per acquisition is $1,000. Okay. If your sales process gets worse, it's going to get more expensive to get a client. And so now you're spending $1,500 to get somebody to become a client, or 2,000. And it's like, you can't outsell, a bad marketing or a bad sales process, or you can't outpurchase a bad sales process. At some point, you're going to reach this threshold where it's no longer profitable. And now you're thinking, well, ads are too expensive. We can't run ads, when in reality, they'd be less expensive if you were converting at a higher rate. So again, you will have a very hard time trying to outspend a poor sales process. So you don't necessarily need more leads. You need to fix the efficiency, the show rates, the nurturing process. You need to fix all of that that's associated with the acquisition portion of your business. That's what's actually going to move. The harsh truth number 2, hustling harder is not going to solve the inefficiency. So a lot of people think, okay, my systems, well, one, they don't really think about their systems. They think it's just they're not working hard enough, because I've got some books back here and tons on my Kindle. I don't like paperback. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but this hustle culture is like, just work harder, like the Ed Milet's, the Power of One More, the David Goggins, like who's going to carry the boats, and all these different personalities. And we're just thinking, like, work harder. I'm not working hard enough. I didn't cold plunge long enough. I didn't hit the sauna hard enough this morning. And we're just thinking we have to constantly work harder. But in reality, like, yes, business, I'm not here to say that business doesn't require hard work, dedication, sacrifice. It requires all of those, and probably so much more. But it's not necessarily about working harder. Like, in all reality, I feel like I work hard, but I also work extremely efficient. Like, I shouldn't be able to run 3 very profitable businesses and still go and take every single weekend off and dip out sometimes on a weekday to go skiing and do all these different things. Like, I shouldn't be able to do that theoretically. I wouldn't be able to if I didn't have the proper system. So it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. Wow. Very cliche, but boy, is it true. Okay. Truth number 3 is no system means no scale. Okay. You cannot scale without the proper system. So yes, your hard work, your inefficiency, your high cost per acquisition may have helped you get to 10K, maybe 50K, maybe even 100K, depending on your industry. And then you're going to hit a wall if you haven't already. You're probably already there if you clicked on this video, right? And so you're going to find that, okay, leads are getting too expensive, or it's getting too expensive to get more leads. There are multiple streams, okay, that you can get leads. Like, yes, ads feels like this unlimited bucket. More money I get in, the more leads I get out. But typically you're going to reach this point of diminishing returns where it's like, for that target audience, yes, it may say 1 to 3 million or 1 to 5 or 5 to 8 million people, but you're going to find that the quality will start to dip after a little bit, and then you got to redo it and do this and split test and do all these different things. In reality, a good system should have multiple streams of leads. So this should be, which we're going to get into, by the way, but you should have at least 5 to 7 different channels of leads, in my opinion. It should not just rely on ad. It should not just be reliant on organic or Facebook or Instagram. But instead, like if you're going to go on social media, it's like try to optimize each social media to at least produce a few clients for you a month. That's referrals, that's partnerships. Obviously, that's going to be ads. It's being on different platforms where maybe you can purchase leads. That's cross-pollinating different audiences, going live on other people's Facebooks, other people's podcasts, featuring them on yours, doing all these different things there. Partnerships, like where, you come in and maybe however many people you sell at this seminar, you give the influencer who let you have their platform a share of whatever you generated so they can keep you coming back. There's so many different ways to get leads. So if you're just relying on one, it's very difficult. And that's, again, no systems, no scalability. You have to have systems for each one of these lead channels and make sure that they are all that you're being attentive to each of these and not letting them gather cobwebs, or you're just not focusing on them. Okay. A lot of people they own a business, but it's really just you're working a job. Like, yes, you have quote unquote freedom, but do you actually? I mean, honestly, like if you're watching this video, yeah, maybe it's later in the day, maybe it's in the middle of the day. Like, can you actually go out today and do what you want to do? Or are you confined to your business for a certain set of hours? And it's a good question to ask yourself. Okay. Harsh truth number 4 is your offer is leaving money on the table. So a lot of people, they price the industry typically based on what other people are pricing it at. You want to be competitive and you want more leads, more this, more. But instead of maximizing the back end, which I alluded to in the beginning, you have that leaky boat. Okay. So if the boat was taking on less water, you'd be able to go further without as much stress, right? There's always going to be churn. So if water in the boat is churn, there's always going to be some churn. If there's a lot of churn, you feel like you can never get up. Like the boat is always sinking and you constantly need a bigger bucket to just scoop out and stay above, right? The bigger bucket would be more leads, right? I like metaphors. So if you have a solid back-end system, clients are staying for a long time. They're giving you testimonials. They're doing client interviews with you for case studies. They're referring their friends or family or whatever it is that you're offering. If you do this, there's a normal amount of churn, but then the water goes down on its own. It's like you have a bilge pump in your boat. It's pumping it out itself because you're generating, self-sufficient leads, right? Or as organic as it possibly comes. And those leads tend to close pretty well. And your cost per acquisition should be very low. Like it should still be there because you're paying referral fees, but it should be very low compared to other avenues. So that is a way to keep your boat afloat. And number 5, freedom. Yes, it's time. A lot of people feel that freedom is just more revenue, right? But if your expenses are high and your systems are messy and you're working in your business 24 hours a day, is it really worth it? Freedom, I think, is keeping more of what you make, ideally not paying tons and tons of money into expenses, into taxes, not fighting for leads every damn day of the month, and then having the ability to still grow. It shouldn't be a 1-to-1 ratio between we grow my input, or I guess my input growth at a certain point. Not that it's going to be entirely inverse, like I work less and make so much more, but really your effort should hang around like right here, and you should still be able to grow with the same or similar amount of effort. That is what scaling should be. If that doesn't feel like the case, then maybe it's not going as well as it could, right? And just having a business that doesn't entirely rely on you. Like maybe you go to Cancun for a week. Are you able to? Like, are you going to have made more money while you were gone? Then, I guess, are you going to at least have made the same amount of money while you were gone and not working than you would have if you were at your desk and working? I would hope so. If that's not the case, then again, audits are not problematic. I think a lot of people think of like business audit or having a consultant come in to look at my business. That means I'm failing. No, I work with a lot of businesses that actually bring me in when they're doing their best or they're doing steady. Maybe they're still growing at like a regular clip. It's just like they're like, we want to grow faster, we want to grow cleaner, we want to do this a little bit differently. Like, you don't have to hire a consultant to come look at your business when you're in shambles. In fact, I prefer not to come into a business that's being burnt to the ground. It's much more fun, much more simple, way more painless if you're actually doing all right. So if you're considering having a consultant come in, I do free audits where I break down the entire company. That's a 30,000, 10,000, 1,000 and ground level view of the entire company. I mean, all systems, lead channels, do a full funnel hack, website audit, everything. And I let you know where you're possibly missing some money. And that's not me going to sell you. It's just, I'll let you know you could take it and run and fix it, or you can say, hey, this might be worth a deeper look, and maybe we shake hands and work together. So if you would like an audit of your company, I know how scary that sounds, go ahead and reach out. Any platform you saw this, you can comment, you can hit me on Instagram, Facebook, whichever one works for you. I hope you guys have a great day. And again, I hope this was helpful.